How's it, Grant here, and welcome to my camera comparison between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro. So this is cinematic mode with this artificial background blur to start here with the rear main camera. And so the new iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max was released. It's got some camera improvements, but is it enough for you to upgrade from your iPhone 15 Pro Max? I think most people will probably agree it's better to save some money because with the Apple Intelligence features, which aren't out yet, will also be supported on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, just like it is on the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max once it is released. As far as camera improvements, Apple has upgraded the ultra wide angle camera from a 12 to 48 megapixel sensor, but it's still the 13mm focal length, so same amount of field of view. Just a little bit more megapixels, might be a little bit better performing, so check out the photos so you can see it for yourself. They've also made some improvements to their main fusion camera. Same sensor specs, but they're saying it's the next generation of that main fusion camera. They also have the new A18 Pro chipset with a brand new image signal processor. So pay attention to the images, see if you notice any difference in processing. But I think the main difference in the iPhone 16 Pro, that's a nice feature here, is the Photographic Styles, which I don't see many people talking about. They've got some new styles this year on the 15 Pro and Pro Max. And more importantly, it's customizable. So you can customize each style for tone and color to get it to your liking. And so you don't have to do this when you actually take the photo. You can actually do this in post and edit it after the fact. And you can also revert it back to the original anytime you want. So I think that's a great feature to customize the look of your photos on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. If you don't like the natural shooting of the iPhone and how it processes, a lot of people don't like the warmer tones. So you can always adjust that using Photographic Styles to dial it in exactly how you want. And also, there's also that 4K 120 frames per second, which I'm not sure a lot of people are going to take advantage of unless you're maybe a creator or someone who takes a lot of slow motion video and wants the highest quality possible. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of difference here. But that's why I'm going to take a lot of photos and videos in both good and low light conditions. So you can see for yourself if it's worth upgrading from the iPhone 15 Pro Max to the iPhone 16 Pro or Pro Max based on your smartphone camera needs. So take a look at all the photos and videos and let me know what you think. So here's a video test of the rear cameras on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro. This is the ultra wide angle camera to start at 4K 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to pan around side by side so you get a feel for how these ultra wide angle cameras compare here in this particular environment. Lots of blue skies, a lot of greenery. You can see some of the trees turning for fall. So again, ultra wide angle camera here. Let's go into the main camera on each. So 15 Pro Max, 16 Pro, and you might hear some background noise. Again, there's activity in this park here. So again, might be a good test of these microphones with the new 4 microphone array on a 16 Pro. But let's go ahead and zoom. So 5x telephoto on the 15 Pro Max and same here on the 16 Pro. And we can move into 10x here on the 15 Pro Max, and again another bit of 10x here on the 16 Pro. And we can go all the way into a 15 times zoom on the 15 Pro Max and a 15 times zoom here on the 16 Pro. You can see that side by side here. Again, very steady. Let's go ahead and back them out. 16 Pro, 15 Pro Max. And let's go ahead and test zoom here on the post. Or autofocus, sorry. There you go, focused up. Pretty quick here. And away, one more time. So pretty good focus on each. And let's go ahead and just test stabilization. Again, by walking down these stairs here, so you get stabilization side by side here in 4K on both these phones. And I'll just go ahead and start jogging to try to stress out that stabilization. All right, so there you go, a quick 4K video test from the rear cameras on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Alright, so here's a quick video test from the front-facing cameras on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro. This is being shot at 4K 30 frames per second. As you can see, I'm outdoors here in the park with some nice sunny skies, some pretty intense sun coming off my right, so you can see what that does to the picture quality. You can see the shade coming across my face. If I just pan around this way, now the sun is directly shining right on me. You can see what that does to the overall picture quality here. And if I pan around this way, you can see what that looks like now. And I'll just start walking so we can test the stabilization, so you can see what that looks like here side by side. But let me know what you think about the front-facing video here, if you see any differences between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro. Everyone, we're back in the same spot with the same test, this time with cinematic video on both the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro. So you can see this artificial background blur right now. So let me know what you think about this effect and how it's looking in this particular setting. It should be looking pretty good. There's some optimal light, which this effect requires. And if I pan around this way, you can see what it looks like with the sun shining directly in front of me. And pan around this way and see what that looks like now with this particular lighting situation. But if I just start walking, you can see how this effect holds up with some movement. But do let me know what you think about the cinematic effect here on both the front-facing video on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and iPhone 16 Pro. Alright, so here's a low light video test of the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro. This is the ultra wide angle lens to start out on each at 4K 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to pan around here to give you a side-by-side view of these ultra wide angle cameras and how they compare here. Again, the upgraded 48 megapixel ultra wide on the 16 Pro versus the 12 megapixel ultra wide on the 15 Pro Max. We'll move into the main lens on the 15 Pro Max and 16 Pro there. Just so you can see now the tree line actually brightened up a lot. Much more definition against that skyline with the larger sensor of the main lens, letting in more light. We'll pan this way so you can see how it handles that really bright street light. And we'll just pan around a little bit more to give you a feel for these ultra wide camera or regular main cameras in this particular situation. Let's go ahead and pan this way and we'll start walking. And we'll test stabilization to see how they look here in a bit of low light and moving out of that really bright area into a little bit of a darker area here. And as you round the corner, there'll be another bright light so we can see how it handles light transitions from bright to darker to bright again. Also pay attention to any micro jitters. Again, that's pretty normal in low light. And we'll pull up here. You can see the bright light there, so we'll pan up into the night sky. Give you a feel for what that looks like and see how much light pollution there might be, how much noise these cameras might introduce because of that. And so we'll just pan down and back down this alleyway so you get mixed lighting again. So really bright light coming off the right, a little bit more with darker alleyway there. So let me know what you thought about this quick 4K footage here in some low light on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro. Alright, so here's some low light video from the front facing cameras from the iPhone 15 Pro Max and 16 Pro. This is being shot at 4K 30 frames per second, and I'm in my usual testing spot with some good lighting around me because I want to give these cameras the best possible chance to give you the best possible footage right now. And so if I just pan this way, you'll see the really bright street light behind me, and of course it'll get flared out, but just wanted to show you what that looks like in case you're shooting into some really bright light at night. And I'm just walking so we can test stabilization side by side here. Should be looking about the same, but do let me know if you see any differences. And we're also moving into a darker area here so you can see what it looks like. But first, we'll go back around this way. We'll just pan all the way around so you can see a bunch of bright street lights behind me so you can see what it does to the camera quality and overall handling it not too badly there. Any camera's gonna flare those out. But again, just wanted to show you in case, again, you're at night and you've got some really bright lights. But we'll go back into this area here, which is a little bit darker, so you can look at that side by side and see what the quality looks like. I don't really see any difference here in the viewfinder, but do let me know what you think here. And also let me know what you think about the overall camera comparison here between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro. Did you have a 15 Pro Max or Pro and upgrade to the new 16 series? Maybe you got a good deal on it, in which case that's great. Or you actually intend to use the new camera features. Let me know if you do. Some of the new Pro features like the 4K 120 frames per second video or the new ultra wide angle camera, if you think that's worth the upgrade, if you saw any differences there. Or if you like the 4 microphone array that's in the new iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max. Let me know if you heard any differences there. I probably didn't mix in any of the audio samples because I have that in some of my previous iPhone 16 Pro camera comparisons. So if you want to hear what audio mix sounds like to kind of suppress some of the background noise, you can listen into some of those other videos. But of course, any other questions or comments, let me know and I'll try to answer what I can. As always, thanks for watching.